another episode of Recruiters with No Limits. Always live and never scripted. I'm here with my sidekick and co-host, John Rapini. What's up, John?
Good to see you again, Richard.
And I got one word to say today, thrive. Whew, man, Johnny, we got two guests we're just going to bring on now. We have Lindsay and Diana Mertz from ASA. How are y'all doing?
Good. Thriving.
Thriving. I love it. Well done.
The word of the day. Oh, my goodness. So I tell you what, John, we're just going to deep dive into this. I mean, there's so much going on with this big event coming up May 12th. I mean, and before we even jump into that, I got to tell everybody, what's today? May 4th. May the 4th be with you, right?
May the 4th be with you. That's right.
That's right. Watch some Star Wars later today, guys.
Snuck up on me. I saw it. I was like, oh, it's May 4th.
Well, guys, tell us for those that don't know, what is Thrive? How did it come about? What's it about? What's the advantage? Give us kind of the overview of it.
So we've had our Women in Leadership program for many years, and we had a pre-convention program in 2019 before COVID. But COVID was actually a gift to our women's community within the industry, I think. We decided to hold our first virtual event in May of 2020, and we had about 250 women. And then we leveled up our branding. And so for November of 2020, we held another virtual event for women. We had around 400 women at that. And then May of 2021, we had 600 women. And I am excited that right now we are just over 750 women registered for next week's Thrive program. There are some men registered too, and we appreciate their support as well.
Wow.
But the Thrive brand, I would say that it was intentional, but truly it was by happenstance. We did a brainstorming call with our Women in Leadership Council, and we were talking about words that really resonated, where women were and what they were focused on. And this happened in fall of 2020. So we were still in the thick of COVID, and we were like, we need to thrive. We need to empower women to thrive with where they're at. And women were hit really hard with COVID and juggling education at home and work at the same time. And the Thrive brand started there. Really, it was supposed to just be for November of 2020, and then it stuck. There's so many plays on word. As Lindsay said, she's thriving today. But we just found that brand really resonated, and we've carried the Thrive brand through. What is Thrive? We have an in-person event. We can talk about that later, but this half-day virtual event is about bringing together networking, community, professional development, inspiration, and learning from each other. A little bit of all of that, the keynote, breakout sessions, networking. And then one of our favorite sessions is from a staffing industry panel. Women are vulnerable about their career, their challenges, their successes. And Lindsay, you've attended a few of them with me. I think that panel, women just want to be inspired and hear from women. How did you do it? How did you come up in this career?
Absolutely. Well, and I think the networking is such a great launch pad off of the panel as well, because it gives people at every level of their career a chance to have those conversations. You know, I think it's just as powerful for those of us who are maybe at a C-suite level to have conversations with people that are earlier in their career and understanding what challenges they're facing and how they might be different than challenges that we're facing. But it's also, you know, obviously the reverse as well. So it gives us an opportunity. And I feel like the panel and all the sessions are just a great kind of launch pad into those conversations where we can break it up into groups and really help each other. I personally feel like Thrive is a great opportunity for people to build long-term relationships. As big as our space is, it actually is small, and there's so much mobility from one firm to the next. So I feel like it, you know, helps like build those pathways. And I would say the Women in Leadership Council that built this, like just to go back a little bit, there are some phenomenal marketing minds in that group. So we're really blessed with a lot of the experience and marketing and strategy minds that we have that helped build this. So
I can remember when that pre-conference workshop occurred, that very first one. because I was doing one right next door in the next room.
I remember, John.
And
I was
I
waiting
remember-
for you to say that.
I remember going next door to say hi to Robin and Kim from Me Derby, and walking in and just saying, "Holy cow!" There was such a buzz and a vibe in that room, and you could tell that this was a movement that really had legs, and it was gonna. It's been so impactful for so many. And what I love is that, the Thrive event is part of that movement, and the group of people involved in that have become so close and tight knit, and they just push each other so much. It's been a really cool thing to watch grow.
It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And just the council, going back to what Lindsay was saying, is this content is built by the industry with volunteers. And while we're expecting, over 750 women as of today at the event, I think there are real pockets of community that form, and you make those connections. It feels like an intimate event. When we look at the reviews, it's like I stayed the whole day. I didn't turn off my camera. People turn their camera on. The chat panel is active the entire time. It's not a set and forget it event. If you're going to come next week, be prepared to be engaged and to find connections and community with each other, and a place that's going to support you in your growth, wherever you're at. And we're intentional. And Lindsay's on the task force that helps with build this year's program. And we're intentional that the content lands at all career stages. You come as you are, and you take what you need from the content that we're showing. So we've got women
so there's
and
something
men.
for everybody.
Yeah, exactly, of all career stages.
I think we do a great job of kind of thinking outside the box too, looking at applications outside the industry and opportunities to plug in leaders and experts that could bring some knowledge that would be very transferable to our industry, but a different vantage point than kind of what we see and hear every day.
Man, this is powerful stuff. We're not going to waste any time, John. We're going to check out this video. You ready for this clip, man? It's a minute long.
Absolutely.
This will pump you up. Let's check it out.
Hello, my name is Shanice Cleckley, and I'd like for you to join me on May 12th for the upcoming American Staffing Association's virtual program, Thrive 2022, for elevating careers, empowering women in staffing. This virtual event is designed for women to grow their leadership skills and your professional reach. Male allies, you're more than welcome to come and join in on the fun. I'll be keynoting this conference with my strategic session of Seek Harmony and Not Balance that's going to inspire you and make you empowered. I'm going to show you how to prioritize what's important to you and get it all done. I look forward to seeing you and connecting with you on May 12th. Come on to the Thrive 2022.
All I can say is, woo, man.
A little bit of energy.
Yeah.
I don't know what will, right?
I had her session prep call yesterday. She's fun. I think we're going to be laughing, but she'll bring such high energy. Her topic is Seek Harmony, Not Balance, one that we hear all the time from women juggling perhaps aging parent care with their work, young children, just the demands of the industry and how to make that work with the life balance that you have and the other demands outside of work. But she's going to keep it real, and she's got some practical strategies and some awesome energy to kick us off.
Hey, that's what you want in a keynote. I mean, she'll get it going. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Tell me about that.
She's got a fun story. So we're really excited about Shanice. She's our opening keynoter.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
stuff.
Yeah.
Tell you what, let's just roll into some of the slides we got here that Diana sent over that we want to check it out.
Oh, good.
So we got like a little speed talk going on here.
Yeah. So this is our closing speed talk. We do this at the end of the day. It's that feel good before you go. But Asfa and Jeanette are going to speak about the inclusive leader and how to make sure that you're leading with inclusion at all levels within your career, because everyone can be a change maker with where they're at. So yeah.
No, we had Jeanette on the show, and
yes,
she knows her stuff. And we it's interesting, myself included. You think of DE&I. Well, we get the diversity, we get the equity, but a lot of people don't get the inclusion factor. So that's really important.
She's actually the chair of our Thrive Virtual Task Force this year. She's a volunteer as well. So she's chairing the group that helped create the program for Thrive Virtual. So that's how we're going to round it out. We will also do a commitment and hear a commitment around breaking the bias. It's how International Women's Day celebrated this year is breaking the bias that women face in the workplace. And then we'll also hear a teaser for a Thrive Live session that we're doing in Vegas this year to close us out around the Together We Rise book, which I know they were on your podcast as well. So there'll be a little teaser there to close out the day. Yep. So you have to stay through the end because we've got good content all the way through. you gave me the last session to talk about first.
Hey, you know what? The best for last, right?
That's right.
That's how we roll.
That's right.
All right, here's another one here. Look at this. I mean,
yeah,
she just summed it up.
Spread the word. One of the things that we like here is bringing teams. And so I don't know if you have the team slide in here too, Richard, but if you don't, I can talk about that. We offer a really advantageous group discount rate. So you have the first registration, and then every registration, therefore, after that first is at a heavy discounted rate. So I encourage you to bring your team. We have a lot of people bringing teams, and what they like to do is they like to do the takeaways from the session from Thrive Virtual as a team after the fact. Or there's some of our speakers are actually authors and have books. In fact, Cassandra has a book. We'll talk about her. I'll let Lindsay talk about her in a second. But Cassandra has a book, and she's going to do a follow-up book club session with us in July for Thrive Virtual attendees. You have to be an attendee. But so we see book clubs happening for those teams that are coming to Thrive Virtual, so that they continue to have the takeaways from the event, but in a team discussion as well. So come on, bring your teams. We'll have fun.
And there it is, the 4 steps.
Lindsay, you want to talk about her?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was going to say the books, I feel like it's just such a great opportunity with the authors that we've had in the past. We've definitely seen ongoing conversation, engagement, networking as a result. So I do feel like that's a great pathway. And Cassandra brings to the table, I think, again, kind of what I was mentioning at the beginning of that different vantage point, not what we hear, not industry specific, not like the articles we're getting hit with every day, but a different vantage point. She is an expert at manifestation. So I'm super excited. I've followed her work for a while. She's just very positive energy, very engaging. And I think she's going to be awesome for all of us to hear from and think about things as a business owner. A lot of the women that attend the events, I think, lead their own teams. So I think having that perspective on, okay, things get challenging, like what can you bring to the table? Like what's going to really help you get through those challenging times? So, and I think everybody's like felt it, especially with COVID in one way or another, either, challenges with their business or like Diana mentioned, like navigating the challenge of the work-home balance with like the fact that the home and the office are the same place, like, so many different elements bring to the table. So I feel like the fact that all of our worlds have blended so much together now, like, we know so much more about each other than we ever did before. So I feel like she brings an awesome perspective on, how to really up-level.
What's interesting is you mentioned that we know so much more about each other, and that's so true. I feel like the whole COVID situation made us bring down, a lot of people had barriers. Okay, this is my work life. This is my home life. I like to keep a little separate, protect myself, that type of thing. Those barriers went away.
Yeah.
And because we had to just really embrace whatever the heck it was that each individual was going through.
Yeah.
And it's a different type of workplace now because you've got more of a, I don't want to say a friend network, but you just know each other on a more intimate level than you did 2 years ago, which is pretty interesting.
It's more authentic. I feel like, we're not like wearing different hats. Like I feel like everybody's been kind of forced to show who they really are across like all levels of their life.
Yeah. And not be ashamed either. It's like, okay, I got 2 dogs, a cat, a squirrel, a parrot, and 3 kids. Oh, well.
And
is that true, John?
No, God, no. I tell you, my kids are all out of the house, and I don't know. It's hard enough being a working person, a working female, and having kids, and being able to go to the office and then come home. I don't know how people did it during COVID that had young kids at home, Diana.
We did it.
It blows my mind. I tip my hat to everybody who was in that situation, because it was hard enough as it is. With that in the mix, it maximizes the way you control your time, and probably has you pulling your hair out more times than not.
And I think too, is that when even our daycare opened back up, like every day you send your kid to school or to daycare with the uncertainty that the class might close. I mean, we had so many 48, 72-hour closures, 10-day closure over the holidays. My son's class was closed for 10 days. In fact, to be honest, it was closed for 20 days in December. Wow. But we were already planned to be out for the holidays for a little bit, so it didn't affect us, thankfully. But even now, today, this week, cases are going up, and my son is tested daily, and if he's negative, he gets to go. But they told us that that if another kid tested positive, it would be considered an outbreak, and they'd be closing the class for 5 days. So that's been my past week, is my son's gotten a daily COVID test to go to school. And so even when you have the structure to support you as a working woman, it feels still very unsteady right now. It's temporary. Like, you just hope for the best. And for women to show up and do their best at work, they need the support systems and the structure to do that. And for me, that is daycare. And so a lot of women are juggling that, and men too. You know, my husband, he worked full time at home too. So even before the pandemic. So if I wasn't available, then the kids sure were ready to have him be available, right? So there were both of us that were impacted, but it's
you learn to kind of see what the other person needs, and you balance it out as best you can, so that each has time to do what they need to do, and you have time as a family as well.
And that's exactly why we have Shanice's session as our opening keynote, is around the harmony and balance, because one of the biggest topics that we brainstormed at our very first quarter call with the Women in Leadership Council is a lot around, what is this new normal? What does this post-COVID look like for women? Because there were things that there was a lot more understanding and support, even when your kids were in this uncertain period with school, or still are with daycare. There was a lot more support and understanding than may not have been extended before. And does that all just go away now that things are more normal, or should those systems still remain? And so that's, that topic came up a lot, and even the topic around how to be a supervisor and coach and support women, even if I'm in a very different life stage. Maybe I don't have children myself, or maybe I'm not caring for aging parents, or maybe I'm not juggling another priority, a health challenge that someone might be juggling, for example, or supporting someone with a health challenge. And how are you an empathetic supervisor through that?
You have to be nowadays. And I think you mentioned something earlier that, it's made us, I think it was Lindsay who said, we're all more authentic. So, people now, even though like we're back into like a hybrid situation, some people are going back 100%, some people are going to be 100% virtual for the rest of their existence. And, some are hybrid. That's what I do. I go in about 2-3 days a week. And there are people now, when you're interviewing, if they've got some situations at home in the past, that was like taboo. You didn't bring that up in an interview because that was personal stuff. You just dealt with it, and don't let that interfere with your job. Now, as a hiring manager, you need to be okay with that, because that's the world we live in. And to your point, all right, so, while COVID's not over, the lockdown portion of it seems to be, but that doesn't mean that we should change the things that we embraced during that period. We need to find ways to integrate them more. Why were women not embraced before COVID with the challenges that they're facing? Why did it take a global pandemic to make managers and leaders more empathetic? I don't know, but let's hope it continues.
So true. I think the biggest thing is multitasking. And the biggest thing, guys, is LinkedIn. Look at LinkedIn now. It was never like this. They're showing their dogs off, their family. 5 years ago, LinkedIn was straight business. Now it's like Facebook.
Oh, shh. No, we're not that bad yet. Let's hope it never gets to that point, Richard.
But I didn't know that Lindsay had dogs until COVID.
Look at that. Is that what the ribbons are for? You have show dogs?
Yes.
Wow.
Very impressive.
Yeah, thanks.
We got some nice comments in the comment bar, Richard. We got some interaction.
Yeah, so there are a couple of things up there, and we'll get to that. Oh, and there's the keynote.
There she is.
That's right. So, Shanice, the nice part about it is we will do power networking immediately after Shanice's session. It's 30 minutes. We're doing breakout rooms. We have over 40 facilitators because as our attendee group grows larger, we need more and more facilitators. So we have a lot of volunteers who are helping out, but it'll allow you to take the takeaways from Shanice's session and talk about it and meet some new people right away.
That's awesome.
And
There's
Yes.
your panel.
And we are pumped about this panel. One of the conversations that we've always been talking about is around entrepreneurship and supporting women entrepreneurs. But how also can you be an intrapreneur? If you're not an entrepreneur right now, how can you think and operate like one as an intrapreneur within your organization? And so this is a panel of women entrepreneurs. In fact, they're having their planning call right now to talk about that session. And they're going to bring that's that vulnerable, that real session of what they have faced in their career growth that our attendees love.
That's cool. Yeah, because even if you're not in business for yourself, you can still act like and operate like a business within a business, if you will. So that's a very cool topic.
And we had some shout outs here. Look at Joy. She's ready.
Joy's excited.
And Valerie. You know it.
That's right. Hi, Valerie.
Outstanding.
Good stuff. I got to ask you, Diana, now, like people that are not members of ASA, they got to join ASA to get involved in this, correct?
Well, they can attend as a non-member. We do make this, we were talking about this just before we went live, right? This program is priced at a price point that member or not an ASA member, you can come. And the most important part is that this is accessible for all women at all stages in their career. So we make it at a price point. And that's why we've had the buy-in and the support and the attendance that we've seen is that even if they are not able to get company support to attend, it's worth it for them to pay out of pocket, for example. So take a look at our pricing for an afternoon of investment in yourself, in your career. It is well worth it. So non-member, I will happily chat with you about ASA membership as well. Not next week. I won't do it during Thrive Virtual, I promise. But we would welcome you.
She'll find you.
She will. And all I can say is you better join ASA.
Totally.
Just ask me. I'll tell you about it.
That's right. We welcome anyone within the industry to attend, women and men. So
you mentioned self-investment, and I love that phrase because, people they're always talking about professional development, and that's the world that I live in every day. And we always like to say, hey, professional development is not just about what other people and what your company can do for you. You've got to do for yourself. So it's a two-way street. And this is one of those events where it's worth the investment. The best investment you can make is in yourself to make yourself better and to make yourself grow. And most importantly, you'll meet people that you probably wouldn't come in contact with any other way. And that's what the world is all about. It's who's in your network.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we all know that when you're looking to make a career move or even just looking at what's going on in the industry and thinking about potentially making a move, networking is critical. Like we all find, that's how most people find their jobs nowadays. So
you're right.
And so we do a lot of drop your LinkedIn profile in the chat, in the breakout rooms. It's part of our power networking that we do there. But the networking starts right away.
That's
as
cool.
Soon as you
I love that you have breakouts.
Panel. Yeah. Well, we have networking breakouts, and then we do have Cassandra's session will be with another breakout session too, around finding your voice and achieving empowerment. How do you speak up for yourself? How do you take back the power in a moment where maybe it was taken away from you because something that was said that you didn't anticipate as a woman in the workplace? So we have 2 breakout sessions too. So we have breakout rooms for networking, and we have breakout sessions too. There is something for everyone.
That's awesome. What a day.
This is like staffing swag.
It's a well thought out agenda.
I feel the swag right now. I do with all you guys. It's like, man, I'm pumped myself so much. Hey, Diana, before we wrap things up, any final thoughts, anything else you want to tell everybody out there besides May 12th, be there?
I told Richard before we got on that I wanted to make a plug for our Women in Leadership Scholarship Program. And the deadline to apply is May 25th. I encourage you to take a look at it. It's for women with 2 to 7 years of experience in the industry. And we are planning to award more scholarships than ever before. I think you guys know why, because Together We Rise, the book, the proceeds from the book sales are being given to the scholarship program so that we can award more scholarships than we've done before. And scholarship recipients get free registration to both Thrive Live in Las Vegas. They get airfare, hotel, and Staffing World registration. Talk about networking
heck of
and
a
growth,
scholarship.
right, Lindsay? Yeah. So don't sleep on the application, though, because the application does take some time. And if you're hearing this as a supervisor, tap someone in your company and say, I want to write a letter of recommendation for you. You know, that is a good uplifting experience to that emerging leader in your company. But there's a 6-question application and a letter of recommendation is required for it. So you need a little bit more leg time than 24 hours.
Can they find this on the ASA website?
Yep, sure can.
Okay.
I believe it's americanstaffing.net/WIL scholarship will get you there.
That's awesome.
Good stuff. So Lindsay, any final thoughts?
I'm just super excited. I know how awesome the last few events have been, and that's why I volunteered for the committee again. It's going to be an awesome event. So super excited to see everybody there, and happy to be helping with one of the breakouts.
That's right. Thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay's been a volunteer for a few years, so it was a perfect ask for her to join us today. So
that's awesome. And Johnny, let's wrap it up, brother. What do you think, man?
Well, first I have an apology because Lindsay, I tagged the wrong company in my initial post with LinkedIn, but I did correct it. So hopefully it's better now. So I'm sorry about that. That was all on me. No, I'm real excited about this. I'm a huge advocate, big supporter. You and I both are, Richard. I sent my team. I have a team of ladies. I have 3 people that work on my team in addition to me, and they're all female and they're all fantastic and have huge potential. They're all going. So I'm doing my best to make sure that their day is clear so they can spend as much time as they want in the event. And I would encourage and challenge any other manager in the industry to do the same, because it's a really good investment.
And we need allies like you, John, in this to make that a priority for your team. So thanks for your support and allyship.
My pleasure. Seems like a no-brainer to me, but call me crazy.
I didn't call you crazy.
Some people have, but that's okay.
Hey, we're live, Johnny. You know what? I'm going to call you crazy now. Crazy John. All I can say is I'm going to wrap it up like this. I did a branding burst of 5 seconds. This sums up what it's all about, right? Yeah. You know, I love my videos. Oh, my goodness. Boom. There it is.
Richard likes his
thank
toys.
you so much for coming on today. Everybody, be there May 12th. If you're not going to be there, you're going to miss out. Be there. And if I send you an email on May 12th and you don't get back to me, I understand you're going to be at Thrive. So that's okay. We'll see you the next day. But once again, thank you again for coming on. We'll see you next week on another great episode of Recruiters with No Limits. Take care, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.